Hello, and thank you for watching this video. I'm going to be addressing SoulFest, which is a Christian contemporary music festival that's coming into our area. They tour all around the country, so this is people like Maher, Lecrae, Ben Fuller, Zach Williams, and several others. Okay, Crowder. Some of these guys I know a little something about them, and I just want to start out by saying, if you like their music, I'm not against you. If you go to the concert, I mean, that's your choice. But I'm going to explain why I, as a pastor, am not going to support it. Meaning, I'm not going to stand up from the pulpit or send out emails to our church members and say, hey, go to this concert and listen to these people and check this out. This is great. I'm not going to do that for the following reasons. Number one, if you know anything about Christian contemporary music, there's a lot of problems. A lot of modern artists are apostate. They've gone through deconstruction. They are LGBTQ affirming, and they're just very unbiblical. I mean, so many articles and stories have come out, just like a new one every week, it seems like, Switchfoot and Jars of Clay, and just one artist after another denying the faith, supporting gay marriage, and all the rest. So I look at the list of artists, and I have some concerns, and I'm going to share those with you. Number one, there's no accountability. Most of these people are not, most of them don't go to church, okay? Most of them are not connected to a church. Maher is a Roman Catholic. Last time I heard, Maher was endorsing Pope Francis. Didn't I read something about that? Just Protestants and evangelicals. If you like some of Maher's music, I mean, that's one thing, but here's the thing, these guys preach in between songs. So if Maher preaches the gospel at this thing, wouldn't he be proclaiming the false gospel of Roman Catholicism? So, I mean, that's a concern. Lecrae has openly admitted that he has gone through so-called Christian deconstruction. Crowder was involved in founding a church with an emergent church pastor back in the 90s. That congregation is now performing gay weddings. I mean, Crowder, I think, he's moved on since then, but he was, at least to some degree, mixed up in the emergent church movement. The emergent church movement said, oh, we believe the gospel, but everything else is up for grabs, basically. So, you can reject or deny pretty much 99% of the Bible, but we believe the gospel. And then, of course, many of the emergent church leaders, they denied the gospel too. So it's just, there's a lot of problems, and there's no accountability. Every ministry needs to be connected to a local church. Every ministry has to have some oversight for accountability reasons, because if there's no connection to a church, what if one of these guys, espouses heresy? Well, there's nothing you can do about it. And I've been at, I'm not saying specifically for SoulFest or what will or won't happen, I don't know. But I have been to Christian contemporary concerts, and the gospel that they're proclaiming on stage, it sure sounds like universalism to me. Again, I can't say that will or won't happen here, but some of these people, there's reason for concern because they're preaching in between songs. So do I really want to tell my church members, hey, go and listen to their music? And by the way, Christianity Today, which a lot of people call Christianity astray because they're so off base these days and liberal, but even Christianity Today wrote an article where they said that these CCM musicians, they need to be held to the same standard because their lyrics teach people. They need to be held to the same standard as pastors. So there needs to be a theological standard applied to the music, and that's just not happening. So what are they saying in the song? Some of it's glorifying to God, sure. Some of it's not. Some of it is very man-centered. But what if they espouse a false gospel, heresy, LGBT affirmation, or something close to it, where they hint at it, right? Or social justice, or there's something off base. What if they get up there and they do that? There's no accountability because most of these people don't go to church. Some of them don't go to church at all. Most of them are not members in good standing. So there's no accountability here. Many of the CCM artists, I mean, they are anti-church. I read an article about Ben Fuller, and he was talking about how his road crew, the guys who, set up the amplifiers before and after the show, he said they're atheists, but they're more like Jesus than these Christians that go to church. He seemed to have a very, anti-church attitude. These are typically the people that call faithful believers Pharisees.
Because I'm somebody who deconstructed and went through deconstruction and dealt with being de-churched and not trusting the church. And these things can be triggering. Prayer, disciples, Bible. It's like, trigger. It's fundamentalism. It's evangelicalism. I hate it.
They have a very it's an anti-church attitude. What can I say? So they should be held to the same standard. They should all be part of a local church. I mean, this is my opinion. And I think the Bible bears this out. The Bible knows nothing of, people ministering that are free agents that are not even attached to a church and they're just off on their own. There were people like that in the New Testament, and they were the false teachers who were usually itinerant teachers who went from place to place, but they weren't actually connected to any church. Well, that's kind of the problem here. So every ministry, you say, well, that's your opinion. I think this is a biblical principle. Every ministry should be, a church needs to have oversight of every ministry needs to be connected to a church in some way, shape, or form. And that's just not happening here. So I have a lot of concerns. Again, they have their music, they're teaching through the lyrics, and then they're preaching in between songs. So do I really want to get up from the pulpit and tell my church members or send an email around saying, hey, go to this concert and, send your kids and have Lecrae preach to your children? I don't think so. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them below, but that's what I think, and I know there's several pastors in the area who feel the same way. That your church people are going to go or they're not going to go, and we hope that we teach people to where they have discernment to recognize truth from error. So a lot of pastors, nobody's losing sleep over this. I'm not trying to make it seem like a huge deal. However, there are some serious concerns about the Christian contemporary music that's out there. We just need to be discerning in these last days. And I can say about a lot of the pastors, though, in the area, they're just fully supporting it, and they just don't see the problem, and it's hard for me to understand that. So leave your comment below. Thanks for watching. Till next time, may the Lord be with you. Have a great day.